Hello YouTube fans, here again. And I figure why not this one? The Abyss. That's right, from David Chamlin, The Abyss. When people think of classic films from David Chamlin, they think of The Exterminator, they think of Aliens, but not a lot of people seem to talk about this one anymore. 1989, it was a big hit film in that era, and it was a good one. Now, at the time, there was a lot of these underwater films sort of around in 1989, some what people forget about, like Labyrinth, with my favourite actor being Peter Weller. And a lot of people forget at the time there was another underwater monster film being, remember right there, The Sixth Second, remember right there, that's the name of it. No, Deep Star Six, Six Second, figure another film. Deep Star Six, that was the name of the film. But they actually thought because David Tamlin had his name in it, he was famous for doing The Exterminator and was famous at the time for doing Aliens. They actually thought that this was going to be like a monster teacher feature film, and it's not. It has got a teacher in it, but it's more like an ED underwater. It's more like ET, as I meant to say, underwater. Now, normally I'm not into CGI, but this was very, very early CGI from the late 80s. And I've got to admit, it went with this film. It went with it because it was underwater, it was day, and you had to take tasks of actors. And I'm going to go a lot about The Abyss, the theatrical, the director's cut, everything. So there's going to be a lot of The Abyss I'm going to be talking about over weeks and weeks and weeks because it's one of my favourite films by David Chamlin. Shoot me, one of my favourites. Like there was a lot of actors, and what they did to give you the underwater effect, they had this a big tank underwater, which they went underwater, and for days and weeks, every one of the actors with deep sea diver uniform, a deep sea helmet, everything, they went underwater, they held their breath, and they was underwater, bouncing in water, dancing in water. They were doing it underwater for weeks and weeks to give them that effect. And there was ill, badly ill. Some of them was very ill. And I give David Tamlin his due as a director. He's a good director. And he definitely gets a lot out of his movies. But I do believe, and I might get shot by David Tamlin, he might sue me, he might want to beat me up. But at the end of the day, I believe he's a bastard to work with. Shoot me for saying it. He's an asshole to work with. When The Exterminator was being made, Arnold Schwarzenegger, because of his accent, didn't feel comfortable saying the word "I'll be back," and David Tamlin did Arnold Schwarzenegger a lot of shit for it. I believe when Aliens come out, he's giving a lot of the cast a lot of shit for that, and in this and all, he was bitty of an asshole in this and all. But that's David Tamlin for you. But he's good at getting what he wants out of his films, so I give him that. You do get some actors, like you get Sean Bean, which is funny enough, is in The Exterminator, which is a David Tamlin film. I keep repeating that one. And he was in Aliens as well. And in this, he plays sort of like a psycho soldier over the heads. So it's come with a Aladdin story. So it's basically at first you get a submarine, you get this great bit of music, la 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 la, not doing it justice, and the submarine goes down, right? And then you get these sort of like minders go underwater, and they've got to look for what's going on at that. Not first, it's like more like a political film. It's dark, which I normally am a sucker for dark films, but I love the fact it's all underwater. Every bit of it is underwater. And like I say, these are like your typical down to earth actors. They're not. That's the difference in today's films. They're not there because they look pretty. Their acting performance isn't this piece of fucking wood. The down to earth, everyday people, and that's what I like about this film. I actually care about these characters. I engage with these characters. These are everyday people. That's what I'm getting at. So they go underwater. There's a bit where they go in and see finding bodies of what happened in the submarine. And there's a bit of me that wonders whether David Tamlin saw the movie For Your Eyes Only. You know, the classic James Bond movie, For Your Eyes Only. Because there's a bit where they've got these big helmets on and they're walking about. It allows them to talk underwater. Think of Your Eyes Only. That's a bit where Watson Moore was underwater with the Bond girl. There's a bit where they're finding bodies. Bit like in For Your Eyes Only, the bit with Roger Moore and the Bond girl were going in the boat and submarine, the ship. I said, no, it was a ship in that. So, yeah, fair enough on that one. But there's a bit of me who always wonders that whether David Tamlin saw the Bond movie For Your Eyes Only, because it did have a similarity. So, you've got that. You've got the fine bodies. This guy sees a light. He just seems to have a panic attack where he starts befoaming and having like an epileptic fit and so on, right? And that's what I like about the film. I like it because it's a good one. It's it drags and it's very, very long. It's a very long film. I forget how long The Abyss was. It was a long film, but it was a good film. And that's when you get the fulfillment of the aliens, which is done by CGI. And in this occasion, how does the film it's do? How did it's do? I like the fact that it's all underwater. You've got to water the effects of the aliens. A little bit with the dove points at it and it imitates the face. I love it. That CGI what works. It's not like every 2 minutes a CGI fucking hard asshole. It's there when it needs to be there and it goes with the fucking film. It goes with it. You find out that soldier played by Sean Bean is a psycho. He's trying to attack people. He's trying to talk the main character out. And there's a love story. And what really gets me about this is a bit where the girl drowns herself and you think she's a goner. I should have put that in the saddest moments when I was talking about movies, because every time I see that scene, I cry a fucking river. I'm crying water out of my eyeballs. But I love the bit where he brings her back and he slaps her in the face, says, "Fight! Fight! Fight!" And she comes round. Now, I do know the actors had a tough time when they did this, because they was filming it, and the time they went OTT and went off. So she got pissed off. But they really did a lot of work in this, and the actors had such a tough time doing this that when they were talking about making a sequel, it was no fucking way. They'd never do a sequel to this because the actors had such a tough time doing The Abyss. It is unbelievable. I do love the bit where the one actor is the main character. He goes underwater and all, and again, this is a really sad scene. He's going to disarm a bomb, but then the difference is pink thing that allows him to hold his breath underwater when he goes really, really down. That's me wondering, does that really happen? Is there a funny pink liquid out there what allows you to do that? But he's going down the water, and he disarms a bomb, right? He disarms the bomb and he cuts the wires, but he's ran out the liquid, so you think he's a goner. The aliens get him and save him. But again, that's a really sad scene. This woman is crying, says, "You can't leave me." And you think he's a goner. But I love the effect, the dragging him about. He's moving about here, he's moving about there. And then he finds out these aliens have saved him. And that's the only thing I didn't like about the director's cut. There's a bit in the director's cut. I'll get on with that before I talk about that one, where the aliens are showing what's going on. It goes a bit fucking political about war. It's all like World War II, Vietnam, every war going, schools and all this. But come on, we don't need all this political shit. That's the only bit what I did not like about the director's cut. But the rest of the director's cut, I didn't mind it. Some people don't like the director's cut. I didn't mind it, but I also like the theatrical one. I like them both for two different reasons. So I'll do the director's one another occasion. But I love the scene. He comes out, they find that her husband is alive. I mean, there's a bit where they ain't one enough for that first, because it's like she's splitting up with him. But as the film goes on, she falls for him. And I like to say, I love the characters in it. Every one of them has a character. They're down to earth, working dolls, working man, working woman, the lot. And that's what I love about them. And the effects for its time was top notch. Spotlight and mapped it. And I said it was the first time CGI. You had Lung Sherlock Holmes come out in '85, had a bit of CGI. But this was one of the most early CGI effects. And I mean, it still stands up. For 1989, this film stands up for them effects. I should know what's happening. The shit they call computer effects these days. I really do. But The Abyss come out from David Tamlin. It was a big hit film in that era. Cost a lot of money. There was a lot of bits that he had to trim and cut down, but in the early 90s, he brought out the director's cut, especially with those scenes added back in. But I like The Abyss. I like that. I like the theatrical and the director's cut. Shoot me. So what can I give it? A 10-star rating for me, because it's one now not a lot of people talk about. When you think of David Tamlin, without repeating myself, you think of The Exterminator, you think of Exterminator 2, or you think of Aliens. Not a lot of people ever think of The Abyss anymore, and I don't know why. I always remember the trailer and all, with a great bit of music. It's sad to say it was never in the film. If you ever remember original theatrical trailer that come out, you remember the music. Very, very breathtaking music. But this to me had good actors, competent actors. The acting was there. There's bits where you get emotional. There's bits where you're crying with the actors. There's bits where you're laughing with the actors. You got to know the characters. They weren't fuck it, keep doing it. Pieces of fucking wood. You got to like the characters, and that's what I mean. And that's why I like The Abyss. I think it's a dudden. I think it's a classic. Other than that, be smart, be safe. See you soon. I might talk a bit more about The Abyss and things I like about it. I might even talk about director's one. But until then, I'm going to go down in water now and see you later. Over and out.